Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. And boy, do I have a story for you. So I attended my first play party ever in Mexico, and I'm going to tell you all about it. But first, if you're new to my channel, hello, welcome. On this platform, we have some casual conversations about sex, relationships, and other fun stuff. And I'm also a sex education student with the Sexual Health Alliance, and I love coming on here and sharing with you all the interesting things that I am learning about our bodies and sex. Also, if you've been watching my content for a while, you know that I like to travel a lot, and I love finding sex-positive communities while I'm abroad and sharing with you all the interesting things that I am learning about. Now, I try to speak from a place of experience and not expertise because no, I am not an expert. I am learning just like you. And while sex can be fun and spicy and connecting, it can also be awkward, confusing, and sometimes a little traumatic. So if you're sitting there, maybe you're single, maybe you're in a couple, and you've been curious and wanting to attend a play party, but you're like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm getting into. A, I don't even know where to find one. B, what if I'm walking into some giant ass orgy and everyone's fucking and I don't even know what to do with myself? That sounds terrifying. Don't worry, in this video, I'm going to talk about what a play party actually is, how it's organized, my experience, a little bit about my partner's experience, and why I would 100% go back. All right, so first, let me backtrack to how I even found out about this play party. So as I mentioned before, I like to travel a lot, and when I do get to a new place, I like to look up sex-positive spaces, erotic activities that me and my partner can participate in, where we can learn and experience something new. While in Mexico, and we spend a lot of time here, we own a little piece of land in the jungle, which is where I am right now. A couple of years ago, we met a girl on a dating app. Nothing ever happened between us, but we ended up becoming friends, and she is heavily involved in the lifestyle here. When I say here, I'm referring to mostly the Riviera Maya, so Playa del Carmen, Puerto Morelos, around that area. I asked her if there was anything interesting going on, and she sent me a long list of parties that were going on. I was like, oh, there's a party happening on Valentine's Day in Playa del Carmen. I was like, great, we're gonna be here. Let's go. So I looked up the info for the party, which brought me to the organizer who I got in touch with on WhatsApp. And how these things usually work generally is that you need to be vetted in these like lifestyle communities and play parties and so on, because they want to make sure that there are no predators coming into these places. So I got in touch with the owner. I said, hey, I was referred to you by so-and-so. I'm interested in coming to the party. I've never been before. Can you tell me a little bit about it? And he got back to me with all of the info, welcomed me, told me to tell him a little bit about myself, sent him my socials if I had any, gave me a little rundown about how it worked, and then sent me an invite to the party. So once we got invited to the party, I was equal parts curious, excited, very nervous, and very aware that I had no idea what to expect. And I was also invited into the WhatsApp group, which was a group of over 600 people that have been vetted by this person, this organizer, to be a part of the community. You know, we share events, we chat, like it's a very lively chat room, which is a whole other thing in itself. A lot of NSFW photos. There's like a whole rule system and consent system based in that WhatsApp group in itself, but that will be for another day. Which, by the way, guys, before I get into my play party experience, if you're curious to know a little bit more about me and my sex education journey, and maybe a little bit more about some other experiences I've had, you can check out my Patreon. I'm gonna link it in the description below, but it is a space where I share a lot more behind the scenes content about my travels, about my sex education, about my experiences, and it is such an awesome way to support the growth and maintenance of this channel. And honestly, it's just a great little community to like kick back and relax in and be able to share, comment openly in a non-judgment zone. So if you want to check that out, I will link it below for you. So let's just start into what is a play party anyways. So a play party is basically a private sex-positive event where consenting adults gather in a structured environment to flirt, to explore, to socialize, and also to engage in some consensually very naughty things, if you choose to. It is not a random orgy. Some people think that you go into a play party and you're automatically going to be thrown into this situation where people are naked everywhere and fucking everywhere, and it is not like that. It is not a place where people will pressure you, and it is definitely not a free-for-all. It is usually invite only, community-based, consent-focused, and highly organized. Now, let's talk a little bit about how they are organized. So, as I mentioned before, this was my first one. I have been to sex clubs before. It is a bit similar in terms of the organization, but I'm just going to talk strictly about the organization of this party in particular. As I mentioned, before even getting an invite, you are vetted by the owner to make sure that you are a sane, respectful human who wants to engage in some fun, consensual sex, maybe. Then you are invited to this wonderful community WhatsApp group to get to know people. You buy your ticket to come to the party, and the address for the location is sent with your ticket. How it worked in the ticket as well, it gives you a little bit of a breakdown of how the evening is going to be like prior to the actual event. And the week leading up to the event, the owner would occasionally check into the WhatsApp group with video messages talking about the party, reminding people about the rules of the party, and so on, and asking people in the chat room, if you are attending the party, please write, I agree, I agree, I agree to the rules. He really made sure that everyone was aware 100% of the consent-based rules of the party before the party and at the party.
Okay, so packing for the first play party experience.
Now the structure. The party started at 8 o'clock. That's when doors open. And at 9 o'clock, there was a story time, sharing, intimate games, things like that. And at 10 or 10:30 was the consent talk. And then at 11 o'clock, they close the door, they lock the door. No, you are not locked in for the evening, at least at this party. You can leave whenever you want. It's just so that you don't have random people coming in afterwards and also missing the consent-based talk. So my partner and I got there around 9 p.m. and we didn't want to be too early and we didn't want to be too late. And it was hosted at this beautiful house in Playa del Carmen with this beautiful pool and courtyard and many bedrooms. Like the upstairs floor was huge. I think they had a total of 10 beds, maybe between king beds and double beds, and they had big showers and towels everywhere and things like that. They encouraged people, if you are going to drink, bring your own alcohol, but please mind your drinking. So they were very transparent about that, to not get too drunk or too sloppy, because when you get like that, consent can sometimes go out the window and it's just not a good look. You know what I mean? But my partner and I don't really drink, so we just brought water. And you can bring condoms. Well, you should bring condoms, but they provided some condoms as well. And you can bring toys, whatever you want to play with, whatever will spice up your night. They encouraged you to wear lingerie or bikinis or whatever you're comfortable with, which is something that I kind of liked, because in some of the more sex club type of places, there's a dress code that you need to adhere to, which I don't mind getting dressed up, but sometimes it's nice to just go casually, especially for my partner. He does not like to dress up. He is very casual. So I was relieved for him when there was no dress code and that we were just gonna be going in the pool and chilling so he could come with his bathing suit and so on. And one thing I wanted to note was that the way the organizer described the play party to me was really interesting. He described it as a regular house party. So when's the last time you were at a house party? You know, you go, you chill, and all the bedroom doors are usually closed, right? Don't go, that's my mom's room, that's so-and-so's room. All the bedrooms are closed. But a play party, basically like a house party, but the doors are open and they're never closed. So you can go in the rooms and have some fun and then leave the rooms. But it's essentially like a house party. And he wasn't lying. And that's what I absolutely loved about it. When we got there, everyone was closed, obviously, and mingling, just like a regular house party. It was really cool. Everyone in this community is so nice, coming from all different parts of the world. And we were just chatting and mingling and so on. And then 10 o'clock came around and it was time for the consent talk. So the organizer came in and talked about all the rules of consent, enthusiastic consent, if people are in the room, what to do and so on. Or even when you're talking to someone, you have to ask for everything. They really over consent everything. Don't touch someone's arm, even if you're chatting with them, and say, is it okay if I touch your arm? Because you're already touching their arm and that's not okay. They really want to make sure that it is clear to avoid any kind of problem, which I understand because you're there to have fun. No one wants to have a bad time if you're attending a play party. And the reason why they close the doors at a certain time is because they want everyone to hear the rules. So everyone is aware. So there is absolutely no excuse for anyone to step out of line. And if somebody does, then there are certain designated people at these parties that you can go to let them know that you're not comfortable, and they deal with that then. And there's no end time to the party either. It goes basically all night until the last person leaves. And what I love about this party in particular, and I'm assuming other play parties too, is that there is zero pressure to do anything. So he said about 20 to 25% of people at all of his parties that he organizes are always newbies, like me and my partner. So they come, they observe, they look around, they explore, and you can leave whenever you want. It's no pressure at all. If you've been thinking about attending one of these and you have the opportunity to do so, I just want you to keep that in mind, that you can go and just have really great chats with people, get to know some new friends, and then just leave and have a really good night and not have to participate in anything. You don't even have to go upstairs to watch people doing anything. My partner and I had no expectations. We didn't go in thinking oh, we're gonna fuck tonight and fuck everyone. If there was any fucking gonna be going on, it was just gonna be between me and him. And if there was anything else that was gonna happen, we agreed that we would have a safe word and go in the corner and kind of talk about it before engaging in anything. So yeah, we met a lot of really great people. After 10 o'clock, people kept mingling, and then, him and I, we would walk around a little bit. And it doesn't, the action, I would say, just at the sex clubs that we went to, doesn't really start until after 11-ish or 12-ish, where people start getting a little frisky. Maybe they're a little bit socially lubricated, with some alcohol or whatever. And then, people start going upstairs and making out on the beds and so on and having sex. And yeah, we just, we walked around and witnessed some people having sex and doing stuff, and there wasn't any insane orgies or anything happening at the time that we were there. The only thing that we did was I gave him head while he was sitting on a couch, and there were 3 beds around us and 3 other couples going at it between themselves. It wasn't an orgy. Each couple was within their own. That was the only thing that we did, because that's all that I was called to do. I was mostly just absorbing everything that was happening around me. And there was a few people that were playing with sex toys, flogging each other in the middle of the courtyard, while other people were just mingling and having drinks and so on. I remember there was another couple on the lawn chair eating each other out, again, amongst other clothed people who were just chilling and minding their own business. Sometimes they'd glance over, other times they were just continuing their interesting conversation with the other person. So it was really cool, and everyone was so nice. I did walk around naked a little bit. I got in my bikini a little bit. I bought a lingerie set while I was there, because when they said to bring lingerie, I was like, oh my God, I don't have anything. When I travel, I don't travel for sexiness. I travel for comfort. So there was a girl selling lingerie, so I bought a little kit there. And yeah, that was pretty much it. I think we left around 1 o'clock. We ended up driving a girl home that was having sex with a guy while I was giving Cav a blowjob, which is funny. She was from Canada too, and we were just chilling there. And she's like, hey guys, do you think you can get a ride home? Because it's kind of late and I don't really want to go home alone. And we're like, yeah, sure, no problem. So that was kind of it. I had a good time. My partner was so-and-so. His time was a bit different than mine for a few reasons. And these are the downsides of a play party, I guess. So for one, my partner doesn't really like staying up late. And to be honest, me neither. We're not really club type people who stay up to 3, 4 in the morning. I like to sleep. Okay. So for him, going to a play party and then chatting, chit chat for hours and waiting until 1 a.m. until people are kind of woo, it's not his jam, He's like, can't we have a day play party or a day spa play party where we can go to bed early? So there's that. The second thing is the music. So again, he's not so much of a clubby person, and there was playing music, there was a vibe and stuff like that. I mean, I used to be a very big clubber back in my day, so I love to dance and everything. So it's much more of my vibe than his. The other thing is the chit chat. I'll use this example from the sex club that we went to, because he always uses it as an example, and I think it's funny. He's like, I don't want to talk to people or listen to people talking about mortgage rates and interest rates and stuff like that, and having this small kind of chit chat before doing anything. So the reason why I bring up that joke is because when we were at the sex club many years ago, him and I were in a room with a door open, fooling around, and there was people walking by, kind of browsing and observing, but you could hear the conversations between them, and some of them were about mortgage rates and interest rates, and it was just throwing us off. So we closed the door, because that's not sexy, right? He's just not a small talk kind of guy. My partner and I are open, and we need different things outside of our relationship. So he's a bit more transactional than I am, whereas I like to talk to people and get a little bit of a vibe going and so on, which is why a play party is a perfect opportunity to do that, to get to know people and so on. When we talked about whether or not we would go back, we agreed that it's not his vibe. If ever there's a play party opportunity, I would go by myself, obviously making sure that it is safe on all fronts. So doing a lot of research beforehand. Now that I've been to this organizer's play party, I know what to look for to make sure it is very safe. And obviously for my boyfriend to know where I am and have me on Google Maps and stuff like that in terms of safety reasons. But this play party organizer does play parties all around the world, which is very cool. And there's such a big community. Another thing that I really liked was how forward people can be at a play party, right? You can ask someone directly, like, hey, I think you're kind of cute. Like, do you want to go upstairs and play a little bit? And in that context, it's very much okay. And if the person says, you know, maybe not right now, I'm not really feeling it right now, thank you very much. It's very socially acceptable to say no, and it is encouraged, obviously, to say no if you're not feeling it. And it is very much so encouraged and necessary to accept the no and not make it weird. So if somebody says that, you say, okay, no problem. I hope you have a great night. Like, let's continue chatting later, maybe, you know, something like that. But it's fun to be a little direct in a situation like that where you find someone attractive and you want to have fun with them and explore a little bit. You can't really do that in other kinds of environments. So some of the things that really surprised me was how normal everyone was, how kind everyone was, how emotionally intelligent the entire space felt, and how little actual chaos there actually was. Like I said, when people were having sex upstairs, you know, people were just watching around, you know, it was mostly like people together 2 by 2s. Maybe there was like a foursome going on. We left around 1 a.m., so we didn't stay for the end. After we left, I heard there was a 20-hand sensual massage going on, which seemed really nice. Again, no penetrative sex involved in that. It was just a sensual massage. One person was laying on a table and you had 10 people around them just touching their body and making them feel good. Honestly, I would say the sex was the least interesting part of this whole party. So would I go back? Absolutely. Even if I don't feel like engaging with anyone or participating in anything sexual, just going to like meet the people and hang and chat. Honestly, that was probably the best part for me. The community is awesome. I'm talking about people who talk openly, respect boundaries, do inner work, care about consent and safety, and cared about inclusion. And it didn't feel like people were trying to escape their lives in any sense. It felt like people were really intentionally trying to build a culture. So if you're watching this and you're thinking to yourself, I could never do that, that's okay. If you're watching this and thinking, I'm so curious, but I'm a little scared, that's normal. And if you're watching this and thinking, wow, that sounds way healthier than my dating life at the moment, you might not be wrong. Because at the end of the day, it's not about sex. It's about consent, community, autonomy, and choice. And yes, obviously a little spiciness and a little freakiness, but I am very glad that I got to dip my toes in it. Now, if you thought that was interesting and you want to know a little bit more about me or some of the other experiences that I've had, and you want to support this channel and the sex positive content, you can do so by clicking on the link below this video, which will bring you to my Patreon, which is a space that you can connect more with me there. And just know that you are supporting the growth and maintenance of this channel. And I am forever appreciative to all my Patreons. So thank you for watching. If you have any other questions about the dynamics of the play party or the organization or anything like that, please drop them in the comments below and I will try my best to answer your questions as good as possible. Mwah.